Alright, welcome back to Roblox Studio, and I am back here. In this video today, we are going to go ahead and go over fundamental scripts that I think everybody should know, and essentially kind of get into the basics of how you can actually create scripts inside of your game that perform a lot of cool things. And many of these scripts will be in the Dev Hub, so it's kind of like a little bit mimicking the basic scripting chapter that they have, and I hope you guys find it really, really helpful. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and create a part that disappears and reappears on touch, and I like to name these, DA for short. So to do this one, you're going to create a script like so. You're going to go ahead and do local part is the script dot parent, and then you're going to go ahead and create a function here. And normally when you create functions, you want to name functions after what they do. So this is going to make a part disappear. So I'm going to call this disappear, make an enter here. Now to make a part disappear, I'm going to want the part's transparency to be 100% or 1. And I'm going to want the part's collision or can collide to be set to false. Thus, whenever you touch that part, or whenever this is called to run, not touch it, essentially it disappears because the two properties that make it appear on your screen, i.e. how transparent it is, and its can collide, its collision, will be turned off. So the part will be in the game as an object, but you can't see or interact with it really, right? And these properties essentially make it, as you can see, completely disappear. Now, if I want to make it reappear, I'm going to go ahead and reverse these two exact things here. So I'm going to go ahead and I can just copy this and paste here and do appear. And then if I want to reverse these things, I just make this a 0, so it's not transparent at all, and I will make this true. Then I'm going to go ahead and create a loop for this function. It will be a while loop, while do true here, and this will essentially run whatever is inside of this loop forever because the condition of the while loop is true. Now remember guys, whenever, or gals, or non-binary pals, you always need a wait function inside of a while loop. If you don't have a wait function, your computer will crash. I'm going to say that again. If there's no wait function inside of your while loop, your computer will crash. So always, always, always have a while loop. So again, we have our transparency here. We have our can collide and reversal of that transparency here. And you must have a wait function here or your computer will crash. Now, we're going to go ahead and call these functions to run. So I'm going to go ahead and call disappear to run. And then I'm going to go ahead and wait however long I want. And I'm going to call appear to run. Right? And essentially this will make the part disappear and reappear continuously. And then the last thing is I'm going to create a variable here for the wait time. I'll call this W time. And let's say I want it to disappear and reappear every 3 seconds. I will then put that in here. Oops. W time. And then W time. Oops, wrong thing. W time right here. And lo and behold, this is the nice little walkthrough of a part that will disappear and reappear every 3 seconds. So go back, let's go ahead and reverse all of this stuff. Turn on the collision, just say add a normal part. Something else would be good too is to make sure that it's anchored. So part.anchored equals true. And lo and behold, when I play this game, you'll see it will disappear and reappear. So there it is, it disappears and comes back. And if I jump on it, I'm good. And then it goes away. Now, we talked a little bit about that, but you can also take this and trigger this to happen when an event is called, specifically when the player touches it. So now I have this going on. Instead of having this, I can actually create another function here. So create a local function here and call this, DA on touch. So disappear, reappear on touch. And then I can call this to happen when the part is touched. So when part is touched, I can connect this to happen. So DA on touch, right? And again, this will all happen the exact same way you would expect it. I will go ahead and make this DA part red, so part dot color, and just color 3 dot new. And I'll make this 1,0,0. Boom. All right, so now we have two different types of blocks. We have one that will disappear and reappear continuously over here. And then this one will only run that when the block is touched. So when I touch it, it's good, but then it'll disappear and then it will reappear again. So another go away, and then I don't think it should do it again unless I programmed it to. No, it will not. Right? So that's another cool little trick you can do there with taking the same script and manipulating it for an event. Another really cool and fundamental script is the idea of a block that fades on touch. So we'll go ahead and look at that one now. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this fade on touch here. And this one will be a little bit different, but we're still going to want to connect the function fade here. We're not going to do all of this though. So we'll get rid of that, get rid of this wait time, and get rid of all of this inside of here. And we'll call this fade. So this script, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys, and I'll probably make an entire video talking about the idea of debounce. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the idea of what a debounce is. So essentially, whenever you touch a block, the amount of times that you are touching it is actually remarkably high. When you touch a block like 80 times when you just walk over it for like 3 seconds. So to keep a function from being triggered to run 80 times, you create a Boolean known as debounce. And debounce essentially will only allow a function to run when the variable here is true. So go ahead and create our function fade here. We'll rename this to fade here. And then we'll go ahead and do if debounce is true, then, and we're going to create all of our logic here. And then we'll go ahead and say else debounce, else we're just going to return. So all of this will only run if debounce is true. And the very first thing we're going to do is if debounce is true, we're going to set debounce to false. So that way I know that only this will run when debounce is true, and I will at the end of the script have a wait or a cooldown, wait, and then I will set debounce back to true. So this is some if-then logic, which is super useful. I can now create a local cooldown here, set that to a time, and then call it in here, and boom, boom. Now, let's go ahead and look here. So essentially, it's only going to run based on this cooldown time, and this is the whole idea of using a debounce system to limit the amount a touch event is triggered. So let's go ahead and look at how to create this fade on touch block. What you're going to do is you're going to take the part transparency here and slowly make it more and more transparent over time. So for C equal to 1 to 10, do. And we're going to take the part transparency, and we're going to set it equal to count, or C, divided by 10. So essentially when it goes through this for loop here, the first time C goes through this for loop, C is 1. The second time, C is 2. The third time, C is 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, all the way till it reaches 10. And then we're going to change, and we're going to create a variable here called fade timer, fade speed, I'll call it. And essentially, the faster this number, the faster it becomes transparent. So we'll go ahead and create a fade speed here and put that in here. And we're going to set fade speed to be like 0.05. So essentially, it becomes more and more transparent every 5 seconds. Then after it becomes fully transparent, we're going to want to make the parts can collide false. We are now going to wait, and then we're going to make the part not transparent at all, and then the parts.can collide set to true. Now I'll have a reappear timer here, so I'll go ahead and do local reappear time equal to like 5 seconds, right? And this is a very good example of how you can create a part that now reappears after a specific time. And we'll go ahead and put in the reappear time here. And just like that, you have a part that will fade on touch and reappear with a debounce system. And then it's connected here via an event. So let's go ahead and watch this baby run. But again, a nice little fundamental script here using some if-then logic. I'm going to move these parts out so we don't have to see them. Go ahead and play here. So I jump on this, and it fades very, very nicely. And then I'll jump off of it this time, and you'll see it reappears right when I ask it to reappear. So I jump on it, fades, I wait, and it come back. So again, that's pretty much the end of the video, guys. I also made a kill block in the event-based programming video, so that's another fundamental script that I really think you should check out. But yeah, here are the scripts, and again, I'll probably make a paste bin for all of them and put them in there sometime. But yeah, I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and send us a DM, and I'll see you in the next one.